MacVoices is supported by Smile, the makers of world-class software like Text Expander. Find out about all their great utilities at smilesoftware.com. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner, and this is a MacVoices briefing. 5 reasons you should use the Apple HomePod and Apple Music as your smart music speaker. Now, you've probably heard me talk on several MacVoices shows with various guests about the Apple HomePod. Its pros, its cons, what I like about it, what they like about it. But that was really after the HomePod just came out. Now it's just under 2 months later. I've been using the HomePod consistently, and I think it's about time I share with you my top 5 reasons that I think you should adopt the Apple HomePod and Apple Music as your smart speaker. Number 1, it sounds great. And that's the bottom line for any music speaker, right? Now, you can go all over the internet and find all kind of evaluations of the HomePod versus just about any other speaker you can imagine, smart or otherwise. But at the end of the day, these are all subjective evaluations, and you really need to try it out for yourself and see if it meets your needs. Speakers like this depend on so many things as to how they sound. It depends on what kind of music you're playing, it depends on the acoustics of the room that it's in, and it depends on the volume. Now, a couple things in the HomePod's favor. First of all, it has automatic adjustments built in so that no matter what room you're in, no matter how many times you move the HomePod, no matter what changes you make to your room, the HomePod is automatically adjusting to give you the best sound possible without you having to do anything. The second thing is that the HomePod sounds great at any volume. It doesn't matter whether you're playing on the softest setting or cranking out Motorhead at 100%. It sounds great. There is no distortion at the top end, but there's no overriding frequencies at any level, at least in my opinion, so that the music pretty much sounds the same. It just sounds louder or softer, but it does not change the acoustic profile. And that's not something you can say about most other speakers, at least without some kind of adjustments. Number 2, Siri voice control is a game changer. I can ask Siri to play an artist, a particular track by an artist, or a specific album by an artist, and she does. Accuracy isn't 100% because there's still some challenges with tracks from live albums being confused with studio albums, but for me that's been a very minor issue, one that I can work around one way or the other. The sensitivity of the HomePod's microphones means that I can call for music if I'm in another room, or, again, if I'm blasting Motorhead at top volume. And I don't have to shout to do it either. Some of the other smart speakers out there can play some things for you, but shouting or other compromises often have to be made. Not with the HomePod. Number 3, Apple Music. Yes, you have to be an Apple Music subscriber. Starting some time ago, though, I couldn't find any music I was looking for on another service that wasn't on Apple Music. Siri's integration with Apple Music on the phone made it a better experience that's taken to a whole nother level with the HomePod. An often overlooked feature of Apple Music itself that's important to me is that you can upload your own music to Apple Music and have it available via Siri on HomePod. If you have a collection of music that for whatever reason isn't available on Apple Music, you can make sure it's right where you want it, available anywhere on iTunes for your iPhone and at home on the HomePod, and with Siri voice control. Number 4, the HomePod can be set up as a HomeKit hub so that you not only can control your music as I've described, but also as a voice control hub for lights, thermostats, sensors, and any other HomeKit devices. With the sensitivity of the HomePod's microphones, no more shouting over the music or close proximity to your smart speaker required to turn the bedroom lights off. Sorry, Amazon Echo. Number 5, the HomePod is only going to get better. Sure, there are plenty of other features we would like to see at this point, but I'd rather that Apple implement them as they're ready, rather than push them out just to say they're there. We can expect to see stereo pairing, AirPlay 2, and more in due time. And if these are deal breakers for you, maybe you should wait. But then, you'd be missing out on all that music the way you could be enjoying it. Those are my top 5 reasons, and I could give you a whole lot more for using the Apple HomePod and Apple Music as my home music service and device of choice. I have to say that in the 7 weeks since I've had the HomePod, I've used it virtually every day, and I find that I've listened to, in my best estimation, more music in those 7 weeks, probably than I have in the last 7 months before owning the HomePod. And the reason is because of the Siri control. It's so easy to walk in the house and say, play me this artist, play me this album, play me something that I've never got around to, never bothered to get around to, something that a friend told me about that I should probably check out. But I also find that just on whims, something will remind me or of an artist that I haven't played for a while. I don't just go back to my same favorite artists and my same favorite albums, but I'm definitely branching out, trying new music, but not because somebody told me to, not because Apple told me to, but because something else triggered something in my mind that, hey, I might like to try that, or I haven't heard that song for a long time. And yes, it sounds trivial, but it's far from it. And that to me is the HomePod's killer sauce, is the Siri integration. So I want to encourage you to, if you haven't tried it, go give HomePod and Apple Music a try. And give it a little while, because it does take a little time to change your habits. But I think what you're going to find is that when you realize that you can reach out and virtually ask for any track, any song, any artist, any genre that you want, and have it playing within just a few seconds, it's going to change the way you appreciate music and the way you interact with music. That's it for this MacVoices briefing on the Apple HomePod. I'm Chuck Joyner, and I'll be back with more soon. Until then, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our MacVoices Facebook group and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices magazine, free on Flipboard. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us at patreon.com/MacVoices and join these folks who help keep MacVoices coming to you. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com. MacVoices is supported by Smile, the makers of world-class software like TextExpander. Find out about all their great utilities at smilesoftware.com.